finally FAB is here. So in this video we'll create a beautiful realistic world using FAB assets. So what is FAB? FAB offers a wide range of free assets that you can use to build a world just like this one you can see in Unreal Engine 5. I'll guide you step by step through the process of creating this world with FAB assets. So this is a quick reminder that this is the first video of a series where we'll be developing a complete multiplayer shooter game using Unreal Engine's blueprint scripting. So be sure to like and subscribe for upcoming videos to learn more about multiplayer game development in Unreal Engine 5. Now let's dive into the video and create this beautiful world. So now as you can see, we don't have Unreal Engine Marketplace anymore, and instead we have FAB in here. That's great because we have all kind of things in here, like not only for Unreal Engine, we have all 3D models and things in here, which is great. So now you can see if I come here and tell him start exploring, it will bring me to this fab.com, and here you can see we have everything, including assets for Unity, Unreal Engine, and Unreal Editor for Fortnite. So you can use them all together in here. And one important thing that you have to remember is Pixel Megascans assets are for free till the end of 2024. So you better get it right now. So you don't need to purchase them in 2025. So you will come here and claim them all, or you can download them one by one for Unity or Unreal Engine so that you can use them in there, because you'll not be free after the end of this year. So now you can see I claimed all Megascan assets and I can use them. I'll come back to FAB, and here we have a lot of assets. Like you can see, free for the month is here. And there are a lot of other assets. If I come here to discover, you can see we have 2D assets, 3D models, animations, audio, decals, and you can see a lot of things are there. Even UI is there, and you can select any game engine like Unity or Unreal Engine or UEFN, so that you can select their specific objects. So now you can see we're using Unreal Engine, so I'll select Unreal Engine. And you can see we have a lot of assets. Most of them are paid assets, so you need to purchase them. Like you can see right here, this is a beautiful town, characters and things are there. You need to purchase them, but we don't want to use any purchased or paid assets. We only want to use free assets because everyone can use this. So I'll come down here, and you can see if I come to price, and here I'll select free assets only, and you can see we have a lot of free assets, and that is great. So if I come here and select any asset, like you can see this junkyard, I'll select that one, and these are already mine with Megascans, but you can download them directly in here as zip files, or you can go to Epic Games and download it from your vault. So if I come here and open Epic Games Launcher, you can see you can find them right in here. So how we can add a new project that's not already in here, and how we can add that, you can come back here, and I'll just show any project that's not already in there. So if I come right here, I'll just search for anything like a helicopter. We have a helicopter object in here. You can see we can select this helicopter, and then I think it's already owned, so I'll select anything that's not owned by me. Like you can see right here, that's free, but I didn't get it yet, so I'll just select that one, and then I'll tell him to add to library. Now you can see it's added to library, and you can see you own this object. And now if I come and copy the name and come to Epic Games Launcher, and if I come here and search for this, I can find it in here because now I added that to my library. If you don't see that, you can refresh this, and then you can see we have that. And if I come and click on that, I can download that or add that to my project, which is kind of great because it is the easiest way to add any object to your project. So we'll be using some assets from FAB in our project so that we can create a beautiful environment you saw in the beginning of the video. I'll just come up here and search for Australia, and then you can see right here we have this rural Australia, and this is for free. You can use that. If you have not added it to your project or your library, you can add that to your library like this. I already own this one, but you don't need to worry about it because it's free. You can add it like this, and that's it. And one more thing that we need to use is called, so as you can see right here, I have these houses right here, and these are Midville houses modular volume 2. You can just download them and add them to the project, but unfortunately it's not free. You just need to purchase them for $39. But if you want to use free assets, you can just come here and search for this modular military operation. And you can see right here there are a lot of houses and things that you can use. So I'll be using only these houses from this project, nothing else. So if you're comfortable to use these, you can just purchase that. Or if you want to use these assets, still they are a little bit lower quality, but they will look great. So I'll just come here and add this one. You can add that one, like you can add it to your library, and then you can add it to Unreal Engine, or same you can do here as well. So after adding the rural Australia and these military or medieval houses, now we can come here, and in my library you can see we have these things, and that looks kind of great. So if I come up here, Unreal Engine 5.5 is here. You can just come here and add it to and install it if you haven't installed it yet. But if you already installed, then you can click on launch, and there you go. We have Unreal Engine 5.5, which is the newest version, and it is still available in preview. So if I come here to games, and I'll select the blank project, and this would be a blueprint, and I'll just come here and select my multiplayer project for that, and I'll call this domain. So this would be our multiplayer game. This is just the part of creating map. We'll add all the functionality for creating a complete multiplayer game in upcoming lectures. So I'll just click on create. There we go. You have to wait a little bit, and then we will have our Unreal Engine 5. So there we go. We have Unreal Engine 5.5 in here, and I'll come back to Epic Games Launcher. Well, I just need to open it again, because when you open Unreal Engine, it is getting closed by itself. So I'll come back, come down, and here I'll search for Australia. Now you can see we have this rural Australia, and that's it. You just need to download that and add that to the project. It will take a little time because it's a huge project, but I'm gonna just come here and add it to project like this. So it is available for Unreal Engine 5.5 or not. I'll search for my project called domain, and it seems like it's not available, so I'll tell him to show all projects. You can see right here, this is Unreal Engine 5.4, and this is Unreal Engine 5.5. We want add it to Unreal Engine 5.5, so you can come here and select 5.4. that will be all right, and then you can add this to the project. It will take a little time. If it is for you, it will take longer because you need to download it first, and it's 2.5 GB, so it will take a little time to download and add it to the project. But I'll come here and search for Medieval Volume 2. We just need this one, I think. Yep, that's right, and it's around 3 GBs. I'll just click on this one, and I'll tell him show all, and I'll search for my project that's called domain, and yep, I'll select Unreal Engine 5.4 again because it's not available for Unreal Engine 5.5 yet. In future it will be available, so I'll add this one to the project as well. It will take a little time as well. For you it will take a little longer because you need to download it first. But if you're not getting this project and you don't want to purchase it and you want to use free assets, you can come here and search. Like first you have to come here to FAB and add these what was the name of that thing, was military a modular operation. So you just need to search for this. First you have to add it to your library, and then you can come back to Epic Games. You have to refresh that first, and then you will search. Now you can see it's right here. You can add it to the project, same thing. You will search for domain, and then you can add it to your project like this. There we go. But I'll not add it to project because I already added the medieval houses. That's what I'll use. So I'll come back to Unreal Engine 5, and here you can see we have this Australia, rural Australia, and we have this medieval environment. Both of them are already in there. and that looks kind of great. So what I want to do now is to create an empty project, because this is like you can see these mountains and things. We don't want to use this open world. I'll just create a new level, and that would be completely empty, not open world. I'll just use this empty level, and then I'll create that one. Then I can save it. I'll just create a new folder. I'll call it maps, like this. Well, not like that exactly. Just rename it to maps, and then I'll open this one, and this will be our main game map, like that. I'll create this one, and you can see we don't have anything in here. No lighting, no environment, no landscape, nothing. So the first thing we want to do is to come here in window, and here we have this environment light mixer. I'll just open this one, and first we'll create this directional light, create skylight, we'll create volumetric clouds, and we'll create height fog. You might be thinking, why don't we need to create this sky atmosphere? Because we just want to add, well, I'll just remove this volumetric clouds as well, because we will not use that. I'll come here to rural Australia, and here in sky we have this one, this blueprint. I'll just drag and drop this into the world. There we go. You can see we have that one. I'll come to skylight. We have this height fog. I'll just bring this one like that, and we have directional light. I'll just change this one to 12 like this, and that looks great. So maybe we just need to come to environment light mixer and add this sky atmosphere as well, because this down place is just empty and it doesn't look good. Now you can see everything is all right and looks great. So the next thing we want to do is to create a landscape. So I'll come here and create a landscape, and that's the correct size. You can see right here. I think that's all right. And then I'll just tell him to create landscape. Now you can see we have this landscape, but we don't know exactly how long this is, so we need a human reference that we can understand what's going on in here. So I'll just come right here, and I'll add this feature and content pack. I'll add this third person so that we can understand the human reference, like how a human will look in this environment. So I'll just add this one. It will be, we just want to use this for a reference, nothing else. I'll come here to characters, and then here you can see we have this meshes, and we have this mannequin. I'll add him to the project. Now you can see we can understand how big this world is. You can see right here. And then next thing I want to do is to come here, and I'll add a bookmark in here. So I'll just bring these things a little down, because we don't want to see these icons. They're just like not looking good in here. So I'll come here, and I'll just add a bookmark by pressing Ctrl+1. Now you can see this is bookmark. If I'm anywhere in the world and press 1, I'll come directly into here. You can see this landscape is not looking good, because it's just like ugly. So I'll come back to our landscape, and I'll be in selection mode and select the landscape in here, and I'll come down. Here we have landscape material. Creating a landscape material takes a long time, so that's why I'll use a landscape from this rural Australia. So I'll come here to these contents, and here you can see if I came down in landscape, and in landscape we have this email landscape contents. We need to use this email landscape example 1. I'll just select that one, and then I'll come here and tell him to use this one. If I can apply it like this, or I can come here and search for emi landscape like this, and here we have this mi or material instance landscape example 01. I'll select this one, and you can see everything is black and this doesn't look good. It's not any problem. I'll come back to landscape, and I'll come to paint. I'll just come here. It says create layers from assigned material. I'll click in this one. Now you can see we have all of this, and I'll come here and select these ones. And now you can see we can apply these to the world, and that looks great. Look at that. The world is looking beautiful. So there is some problem. We need to apply this to the whole world. This need to be rendered again like this. That's all you need, like that, so that we will have them in the whole world. And look at this. This world looks great. If I come back to selection and press 1, now you can see this is a great and beautiful world, and this is our human reference in here. and that's what we want. So I'll just bring the human reference a little this side and bring our bookmark this side as well, because there is this tree and I don't want that tree to be in the middle of our work. Now you can see I'll press Ctrl 1, so we want to bookmark this area. Now we need to add some trees to our world. Well, this I'll come back to continue drawer, and if I come down to static meshes, and here we have these trees, you can select any of that and you can just drag and drop it to the world, but you need to select this static mesh like this, and you can see we have this beautiful tree in the world, and that looks great. Look at this. So we'll be talking about adding trees using foliage in just a few more minutes, but before adding tree we need to add some road and things to the world, because we need a road, and you can see we have some road in here as well. So I'll come back to our landscape like this, and to manage I'll come and add road. But before adding a road, I can come and sculpt these outer areas a little bit, so that we have some mountains in there. That will look good, because like without mountains, the like this outer area will not look good. So that's why I'll just add some of these mountains in here. They're not exactly looking like mountains, but still we don't want the outer world to be visible and that people can understand, okay, it's an empty map outside. So then I'll come here and tell them to add some noise like this. So this noise will make the world a little better, and there we go, like this. So now they're like better, and I'll add some more of these settings so that the world can look a little better, like this, and there we go. Now if I come and press 1, you can see this looks great. When we add some trees in there, that will look even better, but I'll just come here and erase some of them, because this should not be that big. It doesn't look that good. So I'll just change the strength a little bit like this, and then I'll not just erase a little bit of this, so like this. Now if I press 1, now you can see that's much better, and that looks great. Now you can see I'll come here and we need to add a road in here, because we need a road in our world. And to do that, I'll come to manage and select splines. Now you can see we have some layers in here. I'll add another layer, and I'll call this one landscape edit layer splines, because we'll be adding some splines in here. So I'll take this one, and there we go. It's called splines, and that's a good name for it. So as we selected splines, it's very simple to add splines in here. All I need is to come here and control plus click in here, and I'll just come a little this side and control plus click right in here. Now you can see we added splines, but its size is very huge, so I'll select both of them, and I'll change the size to something like 500, and the ratio to something like 0.6, like that. Now you can see this looks great, but we don't have any road or something in here, so I'll select the middle part, not the side part, like this, the middle part. And then I'll come down, and you can see we have spline meshes, and this is an array. So you can see we can add a lot of elements in our array. So this is an array, means we can add elements into this array. I'll just click in here, and then we want to add some roads in here. I'll search for a spline road. So this is a spline road, came with this rural Australia. If you double click on this one, you can see this looks great. We have this beautiful road in here, and yeah, that looks great. I'll just close this one, and you can see I'll just move this directional light a little bit, so that we can have a little better view, maybe like this. This looks great. Now you can see we can add the road. So you just need to select this one, and then you can just move it around like this. You can rotate it a little bit like this. So everything you can do with these splines. And if you want to add another one, you can press Alt plus move the object, and there we go. You can just move it like this. So you can just make a very beautiful road. So I'll just add another one, and then I'll rotate that and Z a little bit, so we can bring another like the next road like this. I'll just press Alt so that we can add another spline, and I'll bring it this side. I'll rotate it a little bit so that should look a little better like this. Now you can see that's much better, and then I'll bring it like this, and there we go. So you can work on this and add a huge road into the world. So then I'll just move it like this. I'll bring it this side, then I'll rotate it a little bit like that. So this is what you can work on, and this will, well, you know, it takes a little time to make something perfect, which should work great, but I will give some time so that we can make something looking good like this. There we go. This one we can complete the road in here. I'll just rotate this a little bit, and I'll bring this a little this side. Now you can see this looks great. So if I play the game, now you can see we have this road, but still we need to work on this. I'll stop it again, and we just need to move it a little this side, a little that side, and well, this needs work to be perfect. You just need to disable the snapping so that you can work on this more carefully. Now you can see this looks great, but in this area that is not this is not looking good. So I'll just bring this a little this side like this, and I'll bring, so this is the benefit of using splines. You can just very simply edit the roads and the things in your map and world. Now you can see we have this beautiful road, and that looks great. And you can see this is our human character, and he's standing in here in the side road. So I'll come back to landscape, selection mode. You can see the shadows are too black, so I'll come here and select sky, not sky atmosphere, but we have here skylight. And in skylight, I'll just come here and I'll tell him not to capture real time. I'll just come here and select this SLS specific cube map, and we'll select this HDRI like this one. You can see this is with this rural Australia. Now you can see this looks great. We are actually capturing something. And then one more thing, I'll come here and search for post process volume. This is just for controlling the effects of the world. I'll come and search for extended, and so that it should affect the whole world. And then I'll just come down here. We have exposure. I'll tell him manual exposure, and then I'll give it a value like 8, maybe 9 is a good value, or maybe 9.4. that is a little more better like that. And we can change the temperature as well. So I'll just change the temperature a little bit. You can see we have the temperature in here, and I'll change this to like 6800 like that. Now you can see the world is looking much better, but there is this problem we have. Like you can see these grass and in the middle of the road. Well, this is not looking good. This is like in real world we don't have something like this. This is so much unrealistic. So to make this correct, I'll come back to landscape. Well, select landscape, not foliage, landscape, and I'll come to paint, and in paint I'll select this one right here. I don't know which one is correct, but I'll select this second layer because our world is in this layer. So like our landscape is in that layer. So I'll select that one, and I'll change the brush size a little bit like this. Now you can see if I paint, and we don't have anything in there. So now I will just paint the whole road, because a road should not have any grass or bushes or anything in that. So that's why I'll just do this thing like this. So this will also take a little bit time. You should be careful with that, so that we will not have that anymore. Now you can see it's completed. If I come here to the road, now we don't have that problem anymore, like those things anymore, but still there is like these things. I don't think there's a huge issue. So now that looks great. The next step is we just need to add well, you can see I'll just select this one back and I'll paint these areas. I think we got this problem in here, so we'll just paint this back like this, and the strength should be a little here so that we can simply do the things we want to do like this. So you just need to be careful with working with painting, because this is the main part of the world. Like this affects the view of the world too much, so that's why it's really important to be careful with what you are doing. And that looks great. I'll just change the brush size a little bit like this. Now you can see this world is looking so much beautiful. So now the next step here is to add some trees into the world. Well, that's also simple. You can come to foliage, and in foliage we don't have anything in here. If I come in rural Australia, and here we have the static meshes, and in static meshes we have this I think vegetarians, and then I'll select this static meshes only, and I'll select this whole and I'll add them to in here, and then I'll select them. I'll change the density to something like 0.07 like that, because we have a lot of them. So now if I paint, now you can see we have them and they looks great. So I'll just change the brush size a little bit, and that way I can simply add them to the world like this. They're not using the new nanite method, that's why this problem is there. You can change them to nanite, so that's why you won't have these like level of details you can see right here, but still that's fine. And then you can just simply add a lot of them to the world, so that way the world would look much better like this. So now you can come closer to the roadsides, and if you need to add them anywhere else like this, you can just simply add them like this, and there you go. Well, like this. And then we will add some houses in here. So to add houses we need to remove some trees around. So I want to add a house in here, so I'll just remove the tree. I'll come here and select well, we have paint and we have erase, so I just want to erase some of them from here, not too much, like this area is empty, and I'll make this area a little empty as well. And well, I'll make this area empty so we can add houses in there. Where's our character actually? Well, character is right in here, and yeah, character is in there. We'll add our house in here. That's good. And there we go. Everything is perfect, looking good. So the next step is to add some houses in there. Now you can see I'll just come back to selection mode, and I'll come here. If you have added this medieval environment, or you added those military, both of them are fine. So you can come here and find the houses anywhere they are. So I think the houses are in here in this project. Now you can simply drag and drop them into the world, which is kind of great. So it will take a little time, and there we go. Now you can see it's in here. As you can see, now I added this house in here. I can select this one, and I'll just rotate to face it this time, this direction like this. I'll bring it like that. Now you can see it's right in there, and you can add some other houses as well. Like I'll add this thing, I don't know, this is something like bridge or something, but I'll add it right in here because that will just be in there. And then I'll move it a little down, so it should be underground. Now you can see we have these small grids in here. If you press G, that would be gone, because like G means game mode, and that's only for like when you want to see the area. That's for that purpose only. So that's why like you find the ground. So when you press G, that's game mode, you won't see that anymore. And you can add some more houses as well like that. So I'll add some other things as well. I'll show you how you can add those, and then I'll finish the project. So if I come down here, and then if I come to rural Australia, and here we have these effects, and we have birds and falling leaves. So first I'll add some birds into the sky. If I come here, and then if I add the birds into the sky like this, this should be in the sky. Like, I'll bring it a little up like this, and I'll add some other birds as well. So it's pretty simple. You can just drag it and drop it into the sky, and that would be there in the sky. Now you can see we have some birds and they're flying in the sky, and that looks just crazy. You can add a lot of them. And then you can see we have these falling leaves in here. I'll add some falling leaves in here, so they'll be falling down here, and that is great. So I'll just add the falling leaves in here. Well, where are them? Well, that's too much far away, so I'll come here and add that right in here, and I'll bring it a little up. So that way you can see we have some falling leaves as well. You need to duplicate them. If I press G key again, so now you can see, I can see the falling leaves. I'll bring that a little this side, and I'll just, by pressing Alt, I can duplicate it like this. Alt, move, Alt, move, Alt, move. And then you can see we have a lot of leaves in here, and that looks great. So that looks great. The falling leaves and the birds in the sky. You can add a little more birds. That will look even better. Now I'll just fast forward the video because I'll add a lot of things into the map, and then we will have the result. So you can work and you can add a lot of like houses into the world. You can add some other birds in here, some falling leaves, some other effects. You can search here and you can find some props in here. If I come down here in props, you can see we have this kind of props. We have this thing in here. This is also spline. So before I fast forward the video, I'll just show you how you can use these splines as well. I'll add the blueprint into the world, and then you can see I'll just bring this the roadside, and if I come down in here, I'll select this one, and there you go. Now if I move this thing, you can see we have this roadside, this like boundary or something. I don't know what's it called, but it's like something like boundary. So now you can just move that, and that would be added automatically. That's designed that way, and that looks great. So if you want to add some more points, you can just press Alt, and then you'll add, like, you can make a curve thing like that. So you can just work on this and you can make it correct, like with the road. So we will add these splines all around the roads as well. And also I'll add another spline, like we can add some boundaries in the middle of the forest, so that people can understand the different ways. If I come here, I'll add this other one in here, and then if I come down, I'll just rotate this I'll select the blueprint, and then I'll rotate this around like 90 degrees. And then if I'll come a little more down, and you just need to select this point and move it this way like this. Now you can just add it like this. If you want to make it curve, you press Alt, add another point like this, and then that way you can make it curve. Now you can see this looks just great. Look at this. We have on the roadside this, and we have different boundaries in the middle of the forest, which is kind of great. We have another road right in here. That looks amazing. You can add some other houses, some things into the world, and it will be even better. I'll add some houses, I'll add some other birds, and I'll add some falling leaves, and I'll search for some other props if I can find in here. You can see I have this prop in here. I will just change the size, and I'll rotate this a little bit like this. Now I'll change the size like this, and you can see we have some these kind of props in here, and you can just search and find a lot of them, and that way you can just add them. Like you can see we have this snake in here, so that means this area is too much dangerous, So I'll just bring this a little this side closer to the house. Now you can see we have the snake in here, and that looks great, and he's alive as well, so you should be careful in this area. So I'll work on this and I'll fast forward the video. You can do the same as well, and I'll see you later. You can play your favorite music and work on this, add some maps, some of the rocks and some props to the world to make it beautiful. So as you can see, now we have added these houses, some of these things you can see right here, the birds are there, and also we have some of these leaves are falling, which is kind of great. But one thing we need is some water in here, so that's why I'll add a water place in here. That's why I'll come right in here, and then I'll change this back to foliage mode, and I'll erase some of the things from here. So I'll select erase, and then I'll select all of them for now, like this, and I want to erase anything in here, like you can see right here, because this is the place where we want to add water. And then I'll come back to landscape mode. Then in landscape mode I'll come to sculpt, and here I'll come back to select sculpt, and then I'll press shift so that we can dig in here for water. So I'll just dig, like you can see right here, this much area we want water. So you can see right here we have this area for water like this. Then I'll come here and come to paint mode. I'll select this. This is dirt. No, not dirt. This is stones, not grass, not leaves. You can see we have roadside. Well, I'll not select roadside. I think I'll select dirt. So I'll just paint dirt in here like this. So there shouldn't be anything inside water. That place should be completely empty. I can see we have this, and that looks good, but we don't have any water yet. So I'll just come back to selection mode, and in selection mode I'll come right in here, and in basic actors, not in basic, in ships I'll select this plane, and then I'll bring this little up. I'll change the size like this, a really huge size, and then I can bring it a little this side. Well, it should be perfect in here. Well, first I'll just bring this a little this side, a little bit of down like this, and then I'll make it a little more huge, like you can see right here. I'll bring this a little up this much. I can yeah, that's correct. Then the next thing I want to do is to come right here in rural Australia. We have water in here, and you can see this is water material, so we can select this water material instance and apply it right in here. Now you can see we have water, and that looks good, not too bad actually. So that's our water. But if you want to use Unreal Engine's water, you can come here and search for water like this, but it's not it's not activated by default. You can come here to plugins and search for water in here. Now you can see we have water, and both of them are experimental, so you can enable water in the full set of water tools and rendering techniques to easily add oceans, rivers, lakes, or custom water bodies. So you can see it right here, and this is, we will just enable the water, and this will need to restart the engine. I'll just restart the engine, save everything, and here we are back. Now if I come here and search for water like this, you can see we have water. We can add water zone, we have this body island, we have body lake, ocean, and anything. So you can add any of that. So I'll come here and, well, which one do you want to add? I'll just add body river. So you can see this is for a river. Well, actually it will take a little time to be rendered. Now you can see you can add a river like this. So that the other water I'll remove back. Now you can see we can add actually this, we can add, and then I'll bring this a little this side. So it means like we just need to paint the other thing back, but I'll just remove this water. I'll add some other type of water. So I'll come here and search for water again. This time we can add body lake, like you can see this time. Well, you can see we have this one in here. Now I'll just change the size a little bit like this, and then I can actually bring this a little bit of this side right in here, and then I'll just change the size like this. You can just adjust all this by yourself as you want it like this. I'll just press Alt to add one more point. Now you can see this is looking great. So we just need to work on it a little more like this. Look at this, this looks just great. And then I'll just come here and press Alt to add one more point that I'll bring in to this side, so that we should make it correct. Now look at this. Now we have the water in here, and that looks amazing. But the water is too low in here, so we need to bring the water a little up like this. I'll just select and bring it a little up, and a little more like this. Well, now this is off the ground like this. I think this is much better, but this thing is problem. Well, we can fix that problem, that's not a big issue. So if I come back in here in landscape mode, and now you can see I'll select this smooth, so we can smooth this area, or I can erase this area, so it shouldn't be that much huge. So now you can see we can make it like this, and then I'll select the smooth this time, and I'll change the strength a little bit, and then we can make this area smooth. I'll change the brush size a little bit, and we can make this area smooth. Then I'll come back to foliage, and well, the things are selected. I'll just select these trees like this, and I'll change their density to something like 0.09 like this, and then I'll tell him to paint. Oh, there that's too much, not that much. I'll change the density to 0.4, like 0.4. That's still too much. I'll change it to 0.09 like this, and that seems a little better. And or I can tell him to add single. We will add single tree by ourselves. So now you can see I'll just make this area a little empty. So I'll come here and select erase. I'll just erase some things from here like this, and then I'll come back to landscape mode, and then I'll make this area flat like this, so that we can add a house in here. And then I can come back. Well, I'll close the plugins because we don't need that anymore. And then I'll come back. So I'll come here and add a house in here this time. So if I come here to medieval environment, and here we have houses. So if I come to meshes in here, and there we have. So which one do we want add? I'll just find one which looks good. I think this is a good choice, so I'll just rotate this a little bit and bring this one a little this side, and rotate it a little more like this, and I'll bring it like this, bring it a little down. There we go. And then I'll add one, this big one, then I can rotate it a little bit, and I'll bring this one as well, but it's really huge. We don't want that one. The one we want, I think this is also a good one. I'll just bring this one as well, and well, that looks good. Just need to rotate it a little bit and bring it a little this side. And for this area, I just want to bring one more that shouldn't be too huge. I think this is the one we want to bring. Then I'll rotate this like this, a little more like this, and I'll bring this one right in here. Well, this shouldn't be too much arranged, because like this is the houses from the old times. So now you can see I'll just come back again to landscape, and this time I just want to smooth this area, change the brush size a little bit, because this area isn't looking good actually. So now I'll just smooth that area like this. Then I'll just come to paint mode, and I just make some waves in here. I'll change the brush size like this, and this would be like this, like well, there are those things in there. I'll change the brush size a little more, and this will be like this and like this. So now you can see this area is looking good, not too bad. And the next thing, I'll come here and add this bridge in here. I'll bring that a little down like this. So in this area, it should match the ground. I'll just bring it a little this side, and I'll rotate this a little bit like this, a little more down like this, and I'll bring it a little this side. Now you can see someone can come right in here, but that's in the middle of the water, which is not good idea. Look at this. Sometimes the water comes up and sometimes the water goes down, so that's why that problem we have. I'll just change the rotation a little bit like this, and I'll bring it a little up, so that the water should not affect that too much. Like the water should not come on top of the bridge. Now you can see we have this. And well, one more thing I can do in the middle of the water, I can add some maybe this or no, I don't think that's a good idea. So then I'll add this one more. That can be from any other angle, so I'll just rotate this a little bit and I'll bring it this way like this. I can bring it down, bring it like this. I can see we have these two, and they're actually looking good. And then I'll add some birds in here because those birds are too far away, so I just need some more birds near this area. I'll just come right here to effects, and I'll select birds, and then I'll add some birds. So the birds should come up like this, and I'll add some the other type of birds as well, like you can see right here. I'll just bring that in this area. Well, it should be up like this, and I'll just bring it this side. And then we just need to add this birds as well and bring it up. Now you can see we have birds in there, and well, some leaf falling in here, so the leaves should be falling. I'll select that one, and I'll bring this one in here. I'll bring it up like this, a little more up like this. Then I can duplicate it multiple times, so you can do that as well. So now you can see we have the water in there, and there should be the way you can see someone can come from here, and there is the water. So you can see the water is already visible. Someone can come right here and he can see the water, and that looks kind of great. So those are there are some houses, the birds are there, and we have the character can go in here. The water is sometimes coming up, sometimes down. Well, that's fine, and this is also great. Or maybe I can rotate it a little more because the bridge is already there, so the water should not come on top of the bridge. So now that is a little better. So this is how we can create this beautiful world. You can see right here we have the roads, the houses, trees, and things are kind of great. We have this snake in here. I don't know what is it doing, but he's already in there, and everything is fine. So this is all about this one. I hope you learned something about creating the world using the FAB. And don't remember, this is not a single video, this is a series of videos. So we'll be talking about how we can create a complete multiplayer shooter game using Unreal Engine blueprint scripting. This is the first one, and then next lecture will continue by creating the characters, animation, and things. So I will see you in the next one.